How to be less anxious. 3 tips to overcome anxiety. My name's Renée Teller. I'm a life strategist. I'm a mentor. I'm a teacher. Some people call me their friend. You can too. I have spent years in all kinds of businesses, and if that doesn't make you anxious, I don't know what does. This is for you if you have anxiety and you want some tips on how to deal with it. If you don't have anxiety, Webster's dictionary defines anxiety as a feeling of worry or mentally distressing concern. That's good news, and let me tell you why. You may have heard my story about my cancer diagnosis, and that threw me into the world of neuroscience. Because of that diagnosis, I had to work on what was going on in my brain. And what we know today, scientists have proof, because of MRIs and PET scans, that we have a piece of our brain called the default mode network. They have proof that our thoughts become our emotions and our emotions become our behavior. So this idea of anxiety is the outward expression of our mental state and our feelings, just like Webster defined it. If our behavior is anxious and we reverse the lineage there, that means if we can change our thought patterns, we can change the anxiety. If we can work on our brain and how we think about something, we can change the anxious state of it. So I want to talk to you today about 3 tips to overcome anxiety. So the first thing is going to be how to train your brain, how to get control of your thoughts. When you're in that anxious state, you want to stop, if you can, remove yourself from the situation and get alone with your thoughts. I want you to get another piece of paper. I want you to make a list of all the things you can control about the situation, and then a list of all the things that are out of your control. The things that have nothing to do with you. No matter how hard you work or what effort you put forth, the situation wasn't going to change. And what you want to take a look at is, what do you have control over? Let's take your job, for example. So many people at one point or another get anxious about losing their job. Well, what are the things you can do to control the situation, and what are out of your control? If it's a situation where a company is making layoffs, there's nothing you can do about the fact that they might lay people off. What you can do something about is getting yourself together and putting your brain effort on what you can do to get a new job. Where can you start looking? What are the things that you can start making progress toward before that even happens? If it's not a layoff situation and it has to do with your efforts, what's the list of things that you can do? You can attempt to work better at your job. You can visit your boss and talk to him about what can you do to improve if you're in a situation where he's not happy with your work. Those are things you can control. You've got to make a list of what you can control and what you can't control. And the things that you can't control, you have to resign and let go of. Does that make sense? Third thing we're going to talk about as it relates to overcoming anxiety is going to be some physical things that you can do. Sometimes it's a chemical imbalance, right, that causes us not to be calm, that causes us to be anxious. You may have a vitamin deficiency. Magnesium is often a cause of not being calm. And in fact, there's one of my favorite powdered magnesiums on the market. The name of it is Calm. I'll actually post the link below, and you can click on that and try that. But there may be something deeper at hand, and so I definitely would get in touch with a nutritionist as a starting point and come up with some vitamins and supplements that may be necessary for your body to balance out a chemical imbalance. But within this same category of what you can do physically, deep breathing exercises are proven to do physiological change in your brain. When you inhale through your nose slow and exhale slowly several times, your brain actually shifts. You want to do at least 5 to 6 deep, slow breaths. Count 4 as you inhale and 10 as you exhale, and that will help you calm your anxiety. In fact, I would argue it's the first thing you should do if you're really in an intense, anxious state. The third thing that I think is important to do is get a hold of somebody that you love. Get a hold of a dear friend and talk through it. You've got to confide in someone. You know, we all have these issues in our life for a reason, and we all need to find that person that will accept us no matter what's causing our anxiety and listen to us and help us through that. So important to find somebody to help you. Hey, my name's Renée Teller. You can find me on all social media platforms at Renée Teller, as well as reneeteller.com. Never hesitate to message me, PM me, DM me. I'm here to help.